The Pokemon investing space can get pretty toxic, especially when you bring up certain topics, such as selling. It seems like if you bring up selling in this whole Pokemon investing space, like people will attack you. People will say you're not a real investor, you're not a Pokemon investor. Like it's happened to me earlier on in my channel. You can go back a year ago. I had a ton of collection boxes, a bunch of products I don't have anymore because I sold them to buy booster boxes. And when I made those videos, telling people, yeah, I sold these collection boxes, I messed up, they take up a lot of space, I see better opportunity in some other products, I'm gonna sell these off. And honestly, I even made money, and people still got mad at me. They said, oh, you're not a real investor because you didn't hold for 2, 5, 10 years. Like the whole idea of that is crazy. And honestly, if there's anyone out there, telling you you're not a real investor because you sold something and didn't hold on to it for 5, 10 years, don't listen to them because honestly, those are some of the people that are probably not even do what they say. They're probably not even hold their stuff for 5, 10 years, and they're just those people. You just can't listen to them because they don't know what they're talking about. Because there are times when it really does make sense to sell some things, and there's two specific things that I think about when I decide to sell something. It's liquidity and it's opportunity cost. So I first mainly want to talk about opportunity cost with some of these sets. So first, I want to talk about some bad sets that generally people consider bad, and we can see that with the prices of the booster boxes. Crimson Invasion. This set came out 7 years ago on November 3rd of 2017, and if you look at the prices of the booster boxes now, you can see the lowest listing on TCG Player is $330. Now, if you actually go on eBay, you can readily find them for $250. So this box is 7 years old, and it's only $250. Like I said, you can go on eBay, check right now. There's listings for $250. But even if you want to say, $330 in 7 years, look at other booster boxes from this era, from Sun and Moon, that are 7 years old. They're doing much better than this set. Like there's tons, even sets that aren't that great, like Guardians Rising, Lost Thunder. Those are the lower tier sets, and they're performing way better than Crimson Invasion. Those boxes are what, $600-$700, and if you were to buy some other booster boxes and sell some Crimson Invasion earlier on, you could have bought some booster boxes like Cosmic Eclipse, Team Up. It's like the whole idea of just holding onto a product for a certain amount of time just because you want to do it so you're a real investor makes no sense. Because let's say you bought some Crimson Invasion at release, and it was a flop. Like this set wasn't good. It was never considered to be good. It was a flop from the beginning. So let's say you had the mindset and you tied up a good amount of money or whatever to Crimson Invasion, and you're like, I'm going to hold this for 5 to 10 years because, I have to be a real investor. And even though, we all know this wasn't a good set in the beginning, like, if you have that mindset, look at all the opportunity you could have, had if you had just sold them earlier on and bought some other stuff. So the whole mindset of just holding things for a certain period of time is so flawed because there are times when you buy in early on a product and it turns out it's not that great. It happens. I've bought products in the past where I bought it, I'm like, man, this isn't very good. It's fine to sell. It's really not that big of a deal. You don't always have to hold on to things just to wait for it to go up. If there's a better opportunity and you can just get your cost back or lose a little bit of money, it's really not that bad. People make it seem like this huge deal if you don't hold on to something and make money. If you can, just sell it and get most of your money back and buy something way better, like, why wouldn't you do that? That's the smart thing to do. And it happens when you just buy a product sometimes at release and it turns out to not be that great. And we can see that here with Crimson Invasion, 7 years old. The box is like $300. There's so many better things you could have bought in the Sun and Moon era than Crimson Invasion. And even just recently, Rebel Clash. Now, people like to, call out Rebel Clash as being a really bad set, and it still went up in value. But you can see here, it's almost 5 years old now. It's like 4.5 years old. And if we look at the prices of the booster boxes, you can see here that, they are like $230. So for a like 4.5 year old, booster box, that's not that bad. But you have to think about like the growth of this box. If you look at the past year, this has done absolutely nothing. It has actually gone down and it's gone back up. And if you can see here, it actually didn't even go down much or even up much. Like the difference is what? $10, $20? So for a whole year, if you were holding this booster box, it did absolutely nothing. Now look at other Sword and Shield, booster boxes. Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike. Any other booster box really in the past year from Sword and Shield has been going up in value. But Rebel Clash, if you were to hold on to this, it did nothing this past year. So you would have wasted a whole year of this booster box, just do nothing, if you had the mindset of, I can't sell anything because I have to hold for a certain amount of time. There are some sets, like, yeah, maybe these sets in a few years, maybe they skyrocket. But let's be honest here. The probability of that happening is pretty low because there's just no value in the set. It's not that popular. The chase cards in here, there's really none. The probability of that happening really, isn't high. And when you look at a bad set like Crimson Invasion that is 7 years old and now only $250, $300, I could see Rebel Clash being the exact same case. So there are some things where, especially like Rebel Clash, if you bought it at release for like $100, you've doubled your money now. It wouldn't be the worst idea to sell some of these things and buy some other boxes, because at this price, you can buy, Chilling Reign now? And there's some other sets you spend a little bit more money. You can buy some Lost Origin. You can buy Brilliant Stars. It's like, why would you keep a booster box that obviously, the set isn't considered to be that great, doesn't have a lot of value, and it's grown absolutely nothing in the past year? So these are my examples of opportunity cost, of just, selling some things that really have not been growing, or just generally, just don't have any value. It's not the worst idea to sell some of these things early on. It's really not. And the people out there that are going to tell you, you have to hold for a certain amount of time, and, you have to hold, else you're not an investor. It's just dumb. Because let's be honest here. These sets that I showed you, there's going to be people still in the comments saying that, how do you know what's going to happen to these booster boxes in the future? I'm telling you, if you really think Rebel Clash or Crimson Invasion is going to have some massive uprising in the future, good luck to you. And good luck to your boxes that you're holding on to. Because I truly believe that there are other sets, other than Rebel Clash, like Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, that are around the same price right now. And I bet you in 3-4 years from now, Lost Origin, Chilling Reign is going to be more expensive than Rebel Clash. It just makes sense because this set has no value and it's trash. Next, I want to talk about liquidity. Now, these sets I'm showing you here are very popular, and these booster boxes are very expensive. So these boxes do sell. And, this might not be the best example of liquidity because, like I said, these boxes do sell. But when booster boxes get to a certain point, your market shrinks because there's only a certain amount of people that are willing to spend thousands of dollars on a singular booster box. So the first example I want to give here is Team Up. Now, Team Up isn't actually that old. It's about 6 years old now. And when you look at the prices of these booster boxes, it ranges from $3,000 to $4,000. If you go on eBay sales, they do sell maybe a few times a week, but it ranges from $3,000 to $4,000. How many people out there are willing to spend $3,000 to $4,000 on a Pokemon booster box? Let's be honest here, not that many. So when a booster box gets to this price point, it wouldn't be the worst idea to sell, because let's say this doubles in 5 years from now. Who's going to be willing to pay $6,000 to $7,000 for a booster box? Your market, as these boxes keep going up, especially above $1,000, your market shrinks drastically. And you might say, well, what about like all the people on eBay that are buying these right now? Honestly, this is the one thing I talk about. If you're going to sell high value items like these really expensive booster boxes on eBay, there's higher chances that you're going to get some people that are going to try to scam you. And it's just the truth. I mean, you can go and try to sell $1,000 booster boxes on eBay. In my opinion, the more expensive items get, the higher chance you get of someone trying to scam you. It's just how it goes. And you can try to sell in person too, but selling in person, if you're trying to sell locally on Facebook Marketplace, how many people are you going to really find to pay, thousands of dollars for a booster box? And I'm not saying that these booster boxes are not going to continue to go up, because they most likely are. But like I said, the higher they go up, the harder it is to sell. It's just how it works. Because just not that many people are willing to spend this much money on a booster box. And at this price, of these booster boxes at $3,000, $4,000, you could sell that. Put that money into a newer set, a somewhat newer set. You could even put it into Sword and Shield. And a booster box that's maybe $200 that maybe goes up to $400, it's most likely going to be easier to sell that booster box that's $400 than a booster box that's $3,000 or $4,000. It's most likely the case because people are probably more willing to buy a booster box for $400 rather than $4,000. So it's a pretty simple concept, but definitely at these price points, things get more illiquid. Another example I want to give is Evolving Skies. Now, Evolving Skies isn't really there yet because they still sell pretty often. You can see Evolving Skies is not that old either. It's like 3.5 years old. And when you look at these booster boxes, they're now basically at $1,000. Now, Evolving Skies isn't very illiquid right now, but I feel like, these boxes are going to continue to go up. I see this being a $2,000 booster box in like 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised. But, at these price points, even with popular sets, if you compare the amount of Evolving Skies booster boxes that get sold versus like a popular set right now, like Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks booster boxes at $200 sells way more often than Evolving Skies booster boxes at $1,000. It's just how it works. It's simple. Like I said, people are not going to be more willing to pay for a $1,000 booster box than a $200 booster box, and these are both very popular sets. So hopefully you guys understand these comparisons that I'm trying to make. I know, people are going to say, Team Up and Evolving Skies are such great sets. Why are you telling people that you should sell them? Honestly, I'm not telling you guys to sell any of these boxes that I'm showing you here, but I'm giving examples of what I'm trying to say, and hopefully you guys can understand and follow what I'm trying to say here, that with these higher end booster boxes that are thousands of dollars, your market shrinks. They're, harder to sell than, a $200 booster box. And for the other things I showed you with, bad sets that really haven't grown, it's your opportunity cost. Why would you hold onto a Rebel Clash Crimson Invasion booster box when you could sell that and move it into, other products that are more sought after, such as some Sword and Shield booster boxes like Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin? It just makes sense. And this is all kind of common sense, but a lot of people get caught up in the whole long-term 5-10 years hold. It doesn't have to always be like that. You guys sometimes have to, stray away from the hard mindset of you have to do a certain thing and you have to have a set mindset. Like, things change. We see, some booster boxes, go up a lot in value. And when you see some booster boxes go a lot up in value really quickly, it wouldn't be the worst idea to sell some of those. And, when those things happen, people will criticize you for doing certain things, but you can't really blame anybody for doing what they do because, at the end of the day, you can't just follow what everybody is doing. Sometimes you just got to make your own decisions. So if someone is telling you to do something, sometimes, not doing what they say is sometimes just smart, but, you just got to make the decisions for yourself. But the point of this whole video was to try to, I guess, tell you guys that selling things sometimes is not so bad. People that are going to hate on you, telling you that, you shouldn't do this because it's going to keep going up in value, you have to hold for 5-10 years, is dumb. Like, at the end of the day, make your own decisions. But I'm just here to tell you and give you some examples of why sometimes it's not really that bad to sell some things. So hopefully you guys enjoy this type of video. Hopefully you guys find it helpful. I know some of you guys out there might have different opinions on this sort of thing, but I just want to share you guys my thoughts. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.